Operation Epic Fury entering its fifth week. Now, the Pentagon reportedly sending thousands of troops to the Middle East in preparation for a potential ground operation. So what could that mean for peace negotiations?
In southern Lebanon, this as Hezbollah continues to fire rockets at northern Israeli cities and communities, along with the ongoing Iranian ballistic missile fire on the north as well, guys. Back to you.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, John. Let's take a closer look with our panel. Rob Maness is a retired U.S. Air Force colonel and the host of The Rob Maness Show. And Tom Norton is a U.S. Army veteran and a Michigan State Senate candidate. Guys, the president, first of all, welcome. We're happy to have you here. President causing quite a stir with these remarks yesterday to the Financial Times. He said, quote, "To be honest with you, my favorite thing is to take the oil in Iran, but some stupid people back in the U.S. say, why are you doing that? But they're stupid people. I don't think Iran has any defense. We could take it very easily." Wow. Okay. So the question first, Rob, to you. Should the United States seize Karg Island?
Well, that's a good question. And it's an option that we're providing for the president, obviously, with the movement of the Marine Expeditionary Unit amphibious groups into the area. That gives the president that option. And of course, follow-on ground forces like the 82nd Airborne and 10th Mountain Division would also be there if he decides that he needs to do that. But the question is, are we out of options? We're absolutely not out of options, guys. We have so much left on the table. We still have thousands and thousands of targets to strike with our air and naval campaign and the Israeli air campaign that is going to continue to destroy this regime's capabilities to launch and produce ballistic missiles, to have a Navy that can threaten their neighbors and threaten international shipping. It's being totally destroyed. And to take away their ability to have a nuclear weapon. Those three objectives are slowly but surely being met. We're going into our fourth week of this 5-week air and naval campaign. We're giving the options to the president, potential for options on the ground. And don't forget, there are some small islands in the Strait of Hormuz that need to be controlled in order to completely confirm that the Iranians are not going to attack shipping going through that strait. And that's another potential ground operation.
Tom, I just want to bring up something real quick about Karg Island that kind of makes me sit back and think a bit. And that is that, you know, it controls about 90% of the oil coming out of Iran. China has a big interest in that. It gets 13% of its oil there. So does going in and taking these islands risk bringing the Chinese Navy into this battle?
I don't think it risks that much because when you look at it, the Chinese Navy is really copycatted off 1980s Soviet Union equipment. I mean, they have about another 10, 15 years before their Navy is up to a modernized standard like the United States has, or just starting to build aircraft carriers that might half match ours. So I don't think it's as big as of a concern, but we also have to remember that Iran back in the 1980s took a few of these islands from countries like Qatar. So, I mean, securing these islands in order to make sure that the shipping stays open with all the countries in that region and the world depending on that type of energy is extremely important.
That's a good point.
It's good for everyone.
Yeah, it is a great point. You know, the other thing I want to just turn, Tom, the Democratic senator in New Jersey, Andy Kim, he made a direct plea to President Trump, warning about putting boots on the ground in the Middle East. Take a listen.
We cannot have American troops on the ground in Iran. This is going to be such a risky operation. And for what purpose? This is not an end to this war. This is something that will only prolong it and increase the risk at a time that we've seen already so many service members put at harm's way and this administration not giving them everything that they need.
Tom, I want to just ask your thoughts on this. And in the context of, does this jeopardize our national security? Does this undermine what the president is trying to do? Shouldn't these politicians just stay out of it for now?
They should. And the Democratic Party is only opposed to it because Donald Trump isn't a Democrat. Because if a Democrat was in the White House, they would have just, you know, they would have paid the Iranians to keep the island and they would have been fine with American soldiers or service members being blown up with no ability for reaction.
Tom, President Trump has been saying numerous times, you know, we've already won this war, and some are saying no, we haven't, and so they kind of correct themselves by saying, okay, we're actually winning it. Let's listen to the Oklahoma Senator James Langford talk about this.
Do you agree with President Trump that the United States has in fact won the war?
We are won or winning. There is no question about that. Obviously, there is still work to be done. It's not over by any means. But if you want to talk about the military objectives, just about every one of those objectives have been hit and have been hit early.
It concerns me that they're still able to hit back. Does that concern you?
Well, it does to a degree, but if you look at it, the Iranian military has much less capabilities than it had 5 weeks ago to hit countries. They're relying on their terrorist organizations. They're showing the network of terrorist organization that they had, and American security is going to be a lot better because once these terrorists are out in the open like they are right now, Donald Trump administration and the Secretary of War are going to be able to take these guys out, and in the long term, it's going to protect innocent Americans from terrorist attacks, but also protect the United States from having to engage in other conflicts in the future. So no matter what, this is going to be a massive victory long term for the United States and its allies. Certainly, the Colonel would agree with it.
All right, Tom Norton, Rob Maness, thank you. Appreciate you joining us. While lawmakers still can't